Hi everybody, we are going live here. My name is Samantha Moore. I'm co-owner of Vector Motorsports here in Brighton, Michigan. I'm starting off in my office as we actually have some customers up front right now, but I'll walk you through the front door soon. I just want to give a huge shout out to Engine Builder Magazine for letting us take over. This is super cool. I'm super honored. I appreciate the opportunity. Kind of nervous because I've never done this. I don't take selfies and I'm not like a big video person, so please bear with me as I do this. But again, I'm gonna walk you up front here as soon as the customers leave. But we're a shop out here in Brighton and we do performance modifications on cars, engine builds, take old cars and modernize them, all kinds of stuff, superchargers, camshafts, upgrades, tuning, engine builds, all kinds of stuff. There's actually two businesses in this building. There's another business called the Car Guys, and they do general auto repairs. You'll see when we walk out back. So we do basic auto repair maintenance on regular cars, and then Vector Motorsports does all the high performance stuff and the fun mods. So that's both businesses. And I'm just gonna walk out front, I guess. There's a customer up there, but yeah, just give me 1 second. Alright, we're gonna walk out of my office here. Let me switch this camera. This is my business partner and co-owner of Vector Motorsports, Dan Sinkowitz.
Welcome.
And then we're gonna go out to the lobby. This is our lobby. Let's walk you out the front door. See where we're located. So there's the big sign in the front. We're off old US 23. Like I said, there's two businesses here, Vector and the Car Guys. So when you walk in, there's usually a car here. It is Dan's Firebird, his Outlaw 10.5 car. It is currently actually in the paint shop getting worked on. We're getting it ready for next season. And I'll tell you all the cool stuff we're going to be doing with that here shortly. But here's some pictures of it. So like I said, normally that's sitting right here, but not today. We have some parts for display, all that fun stuff of what we sell, some stickers. We use OS injectors for all of our performance stuff. Their stuff's top notch. Their injector data is awesome. It's easy to tune with and we never have a problem. Again, some more parts. More of our showroom. Fittings, you always need fittings when you're doing this stuff. So I'm gonna walk out back here into the shop, and there's guys working, so maybe loud, may not be. So this is our shop. This is the Car Guys and Vector in here. See, they're doing, I believe he's doing exhaust manifold extractions, bolts, studs. This is a 63 Corvette. It's got a small block Chevy in it. We're doing a full engine harness, re-harness, body harness, everything. We're starting over brand new. We ripped out all the wires. This customer's car actually set on fire due to bad wiring. So we're redoing all of it. We have a brand new kit, all kinds of new wires to go in there. Like I said, we've ripped everything out. So hopefully he won't have no more issues. A little bit of a modern touch to it. He does not want it original. Over here we do other stuff. We do wiring, custom harnesses, some boards. We're doing a one-wheel or a one-wire steering wheel for a buddy's race car. And then this is my car. And also everybody too, feel free to write down questions and I will answer them and go over whatever questions you guys have at the end or during. So if you guys want to ask me something, I'll try to keep an eye on it and address that as we go. So one of the things we do here is we're really big on, let me get this open. really big on proving what we can do with our racing. So this is one of our cars we actually promote and race with. We race the NMRA Limited Street Circuit with it, and we're pretty active with that. We actually came in second place for the whole season in points. We were #1 qualifier almost every single event, except for one. So 5 out of 6 races, and then we've won 2 races this year and a race a couple years ago, and we're really pushing to bring home the championship. We're really close. It came down to the final race this year, but we got second. We'll bring it home next year, though. But the point of this car is to show what we can do with street blowers, so we can do stuff to street cars and prove, you know, that kind of a thing. So this is a full weight 3,800 pound car. We have to put lead bars in it. It wouldn't weigh that, but per the rules for limited street. And this is a P1x Pro Charger. So this is literally off the shelf on the car. And this car runs 812s at 167.8 miles an hour with a P1X, weighing that much weight. So it just shows you what we can do. Everything else is legal per the rules. It's a Coyote 302, 5-liter, obviously 4 rods and pistons. It's got custom VMS supercharger cams in it. We custom all of our cams. We come up with our own grinds with comp cams, and we run those, and we get really good results. So that showcases that. If you see kind of down here, that is the crank support, and I'll go a little bit into why I run crank supports on Coyotes soon, because I've had bad experiences. Let me show you what else I can show you with the car. So inside the car, it's a 25.3 chassis by RJ Profab. They're in Rochester, New York. He did an awesome job on the cage, if you can see. So it's super safe. It's got a whole Holley EFI system in it. I did all the wiring myself. So we'll get that on. So there's the Holley. Love Holley. They make one of the best EFI systems out there. I love tuning with it. This car's been on Holley for several years now, and it's just worked out really well. Removable steering wheel. The transmission's a cone built Turbo 400 with a cone converter, M&M shifter, fire system, the whole 9 yards. So we got one of the modern racing solid state shut-off systems in here too. And then I want to check out the back. We got a full wing on it, parachute, all that fun stuff. So there's the shut-off button. Gonna go in my trunk's probably dirty, but we're in turbo start battery, 16 volt, and there's the modern racing shut-off there. A step down, we have full headlights, power windows, everything. Literally, you could drive this on the street if I put an alternator on it. I don't have an alternator on it, otherwise it's 100% street. And we have taken it to the Woodward Dream Cruise and all kinds of stuff. So you can see all of our awesome sponsors, everyone who's helped us out, and I'll go more into this car later. Let me shut this off. Alright, so that's a little bit about the car. I'll go into that motor build. I'm going to walk into the engine room now. So we're in the engine room. Like I said, let me know if you guys have any questions. So this is where we do in-house engine builds. It's a little messy right now. We don't have a ton of work in here at the moment. But basically, we build all of our engines in-house. We get our own parts. We come up with our own combinations. And we run all that kind of stuff. So depending on what you want, we do try to do everything custom. We don't do like, can anything. So if we're going to do an engine build, we're going to do it the way you want it and how you want to do it and all that fun stuff. So just to go over a few things in here, this is a Lsx block. It is bare right now. It's getting ready to get machined and built for a high boost race application. You can see it's 3/4 filled, so that'll be going in a high race car. This is us stock crate 5.3 LT motor, direct injected. We're getting ready to put that into a truck. Here's a big block. We're getting ready to put this big block. It's actually getting ready to go out machining. We got the pistons, we got rods, the cranks over here. This is going into a big mud truck. So we do off-road, buggies, on-road, drag racing, all kinds of stuff. If you remember when I was showing on the lobby the pictures of that Firebird, the orange Firebird, that's Dan's race car. And this is actually his race motor. We'll be getting the race car back soon, but in the meantime, we've been, working on the motor. And let me get my thing out right here. So, this is actually an old rocket block, you can see. And then these are billet M&M Revolution heads. They're based off the GMPP SB2 head, but they moved the exhaust valves and basically flipped them. Alright. And then we have an M&M lower intake and then our custom top, and I'll show you what we did with the top here in a little bit. We actually developed and designed it. Get under there a little bit. And then it's all driven by a big F3 130X Pro Charger. Gear driven, of course. So this went like 450s in the 8th before, and this year we are converting it to alcohol to run like something like LDR. We're not sure yet. We're hoping for low 4s, depending on what class and what Pro Charger and all that stuff we're going to run on it. But we're going to be doing alcohol, all that fun stuff. But some of the stuff we do here, we can do a lot. So we do development, R&D. So we actually had, the old design on this lid wasn't that great. So we created and 3D printed this one. And then had it made out of billet. And we're working on now the burst panel design and all that stuff. So that's some of the cool stuff we can do here. But yeah, so that's the plan. We'll see. I'm excited to get the car running. It is one bad machine. So looks like I got a question. Do we specialize in certain engines for performance? So we focus on GM, Mopar, and Hemi engines. So the V8, the American V8, we do race stuff as well, as you can see. Most of our customers are Hemi or a Coyote or like a newer Lsx. We do it like, here's an LT motor. This is a direct injector. We've been getting a lot of these out of the Corvettes and the new Camaros. This block is getting rebuilt. This is actually, we just tore it down. There's some issues. You can see some of those parts over here. We got a nice Cali's crank, some Cali's rods, all that stuff. But this customer actually looks like got the motor very, very hot, and he shredded the belt, and the belt shredded so bad that it wrapped around the front cover in the balancer and actually stopped the motor. I've never seen that before. So these are the heads from that car actually. And you can see the discoloring on in the coolant. So how hot it got. Alright, and then over here you can see the discoloring, the bluing in the head too, where it got hot. So these heads need to get sent out and refreshed and checked and all that stuff just to be safe, and then we'll be putting that back together. Why Pro Charger versus turbos? I'll expand on that shortly. I'll get into that in a little bit. I'm a blower person. I know there's a lot of turbo people out there, and I'll show you. We have a ton of turbo builds here in the shop. I'll go over that stuff, and I'll go over why I personally like Pro Charger better than turbo, but there's a lot of different opinions, and we do all of it. We do turbos, we do Pro Chargers, we do TVS, top mounts, all that stuff. So I'll go over that in a little bit. The other thing too I like to showcase and explain is, like, everybody thinks racing is great, and see if I turn this around. Racing's awesome and nothing bad happens and it's all roses and fairy tales and fun, and it is, but bad stuff happens. Things fail for no reason. You know, sometimes, whether it be build or parts failure, just straight parts failure, I want to kind of show people that, like, stuff fails. Obviously, you can see this customer overheated his car, and that failed. But I want to show you some personal fails on our shop cars, because we really push our shop cars to see what the limits are for our customers, so we hit the limits before our customers do. And that kind of helps where we can see our customers and how far they can go and be honest with them, be like, this is what you can do, this is how far, or this could happen. So I'm going to show you guys some actual fails too. That way, you know, you can see what we've kind of learned and all that. So let me turn this back around. So this is out of a buddy's car. This is from a while back. I pulled some of this stuff out to show you guys, but this is from an LS3. He ran a cam and nitrous, and he broke a valve spring, dropped the valve, and that happened. Now he's got a Lsx Block with a Pro Charger on it, and that car's been running really well. But here's some cool stuff from my Coyote. So this is a nice, shiny, brand new Coyote block. It's one of those bare blocks. So brand new. This is gonna go in the machine. This is gonna go in a high boost TVS application and a Fox body. So we're putting a big VMP Gen 3 on this, and this will run 7s, we believe, with the weight and everything of the car. It's the goal. So here's a primary chain in a Coyote. I mean, you name it, we've done it in our own personal Coyotes. See how that's pretty good, right? Well, break a chain or stretch a chain, that's a bad chain. So this is out of, I believe, Dan's Coyote, which I'll show you. I have that car next door. So you can see kind of what happens. This is also out of Dan's Coyote. So this actually happened when he was idling, which obviously didn't fail because he was idling, but you can see where the valve broke right here and actually dropped, hit the piston. So this was not good, obviously, on that. Here, this is out of one of Dan's Firebird, that motor I just showed you from back in the day when I had a little bit of different combination, but still it's a high boost, and this was a nice billet rod that's bent. So he sent it with all the boost. So, you know, like I said, stuff fails. Here's some pistons. Nothing's wrong with these. It's just I pulled them off the shelf. Wanted to show you. These are some big block pistons right here. Then this is a piston Dan has ran in his motor before. You can see with the coatings. And then here's just another piston I grabbed to show with the coatings on it. Also ARP. We use all ARP bolts and fasteners. They make the best stuff. I would not ever do anything serious without that. So a huge shout out to ARP. Here is a Coyote block from my car. So this happened back in June, I believe it was, May or June. And I put a window in it. And I've actually never done this or had a motor fail this bad. And basically what happened was we were running the TVS top mount style supercharger, and we were setting records every race and going really fast compared to the rest of the class. So they penalized me with a bigger pulley to slow us down, give us less boost. Long story short, I threw it on the dyno real quick. First pull, up to 9,000 RPM, I lifted. As soon as I lifted, I saw smoke and I heard bad noises, and looked under the car and there was a bunch of oil and metal. And yeah, you can see where the rod came out, spun rod bearings, took out the whole motor. It wrecked the head, it bent cams, it broke rocker. I mean, it destroyed everything. So we had less than 1 week after this happened before the Norwalk race. and so we had to make a decision. We actually took Dan's motor, his Coyote, and rebuilt that in 1 week. The whole thing. Long story, but luckily got it in the car. We made the Norwalk race. We didn't have the best race there. It was the only race we didn't qualify #1, but we made it nonetheless. This is a rod and piston from that. You can just see kind of more damage. This is one of the only rods that made it out of that motor okay. Everything else is destroyed. And I sent it all in to get analyzed, and actually what had failed was the rod material. They think it was a bad batch, and it led to this. We never had oiling issues before. We've never had any oiling issues in the data, and I'm super crazy about oil changes and maintenance. So unfortunately, that's what happened, and that's racing. So moved on. The car's awesome back together now. We're doing pretty good with it. But I think that's all in here. Like I said, we do all in-house stuff. We do LS, we do Hemis. We've done a lot of new Hemi stuff like Hellcats and Trackhawks. We've done a bunch of builds on those. We've got several that are like 1,000, 1,200 horsepower with built forged internals. I'll take you out in the shop and I'll go over some more stuff with you. Do you use a certain oil brand? So I just got a question. Do you guys use a certain oil brand or oil type? So like I said, every motor is different. So every motor, the weight will obviously vary based on how we build it. The shop uses Mobil 1 or Ames oil typically. Whatever the customer requests, we give them the option. I've used HPL on my personal car before. I've used a bunch of different stuff. Ames oil, all kinds of stuff. I can't even think about it. I think I'm using Brad Penn right now. We use Brad Penn a lot for break-in. So we just try to stick to like the really high-end, good branded stuff. And like I said, every motor is different. And we also listen to the customer. If the customer is set on an oil type or brand, you know, as long as it's good, well, we're cool with that. And we're very strict on break-in too. So we're very, very, very crazy about that. But I mean, we're pretty open to brands and stuff. But HPL makes really good stuff. They've actually helped out racing before, all kinds of stuff. So let's go. So walking back out of the engine room. I love my car. All right. And I'll go over next door too and explain supercharger differences and stuff. See, everyone's working back here. Usually there's music on, everyone's having a good time, but I kind of told everyone to be quiet for a little while we're on here. So, as you can see, we do alignments as well. We do race alignments. Specifically, we do actually, normal alignments too, but we have customers that come from all over wanting race alignments. And I put my car on the bumper and it goes straight every time because we are very critical on that. So this is a 66 AC Cobra, I believe. Small block Ford. It's here getting some upgrades. We do everything old, new. Like I said, we do a lot of swaps, modern into the old stuff. So like LS, Hemi swaps, Coyote swaps into like older Fox bodies, that kind of stuff. Here is a Ranchero. It's here actually for Diag. It's having a misfire issue. So they're working on this. And then this is our fabricating area over here. And I'm actually going to grab Shane. This is Shane Wally. Hey, Shane.
Hi.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Hey, do you want to come show everybody Nick's car for me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So he does all the fab work here. This is one of our really good customers. His name's Nick. His vet's here getting upgrades a lot. And I'll let Shane explain everything we've done to it.
Yeah, so basically this car started out as a twin turbo rear mount setup and always had lots of issues routing turbos in the back. It brings in tons of like exhaust leaks, and we wanted to simplify things, and by simplify things we went completely overboard and put a 2,000 horsepower rated single turbo on this. It's a Garrett GTX 5533R. So it's a 80 millimeter turbo rated for 2,000 horsepower. It is twin turbo smart 50 millimeter wastegates. And you know, doing all this stuff required us to obviously do some modifications to the chassis as well. So we actually had to modify the front section of the car to lean the radiator forward to fit a twin core intercooler up in the front of it as well. So we custom made a twin core intercooler. And the turbo kit actually, one thing a lot of the times you'll see with Corvette guys when they do big single turbos on their car is the ergonomics of routing an exhaust out the back is really difficult, so they'll bumper dump or dump out the fender. This vehicle actually has a true full 5-inch exhaust under the car all the way out the back of it.
I'm gonna go show them that. So he fabbed all this, like even those tanks I just showed, Shane made those. So when I say we can do everything, I literally mean like everything. So these are 5 inches out the back. Street car. That's what he does. He drives this on the street. It's got a power glide. We did a power glide conversion with a cone converter. This also has been converted to Holley EFI. He's got heated seats, and like I said, he literally drives this to Woodward and he races this. Does roll racing with it, all kinds of fun stuff. So, anything else?
Pretty simple car. Nothing to it, yeah.
Alright. Cool, Shane. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Alright, so like I said, this is, we do turbos. This had twins. Now it has a big single. This is a 440 cubic inch Lsx, I believe. And this car sounds nasty, obviously, when it runs. So, and it does run on ethanol. So, we can give it a little bit more timing and stuff on the tune. But, alright, I'm going to walk outside now. So if I lose connection or it gets windy, I apologize. I'll do my best. But this is, we do tire balancing, rotating, bead locks, obviously. So, yeah, one-stop shop. Alright, we're going to walk out. So this is our other shop back here. We got a big, hopefully I don't lose you guys, big property. So, this car is here for a tune, I believe, and some bolt-ons. I finished tuning this car, waiting for the customer to pick it up. This truck is getting a new motor. I believe that 5.3 in there is actually for this truck. This truck's also getting a motor. This is a 6.2. He also is getting, both these are getting cam upgrades, getting rid of DOD. This is a twin turbo SS we're working on, and Shane's fabbing that system up. So we're working on that. And this I just finished tuning last night. This is a 6.4 liter Hemi with Edelbrock supercharger and a cam. And 5-speed transmission. Just got it down the dyno. Made a little over 500 on very low boost because it is stock pistons, and we all know how those pistons are. Out back you can see a variety of different cars. Won't go into it. There's even more on the side back there. Fox body, we're doing a whole Holley swap, motor swap, fuel system, kinds of crazy. So this is our other building over here. We laid out some cars and the guys opened the hoods for me, so it was easy to walk through them. This is the garage into our dyno, our chassis dyno room, and I'll walk in there shortly and show you guys. But this is a Vet LT motor with a Pro Charger, MSD atomic intake. So we put a I just lost you. You guys there? Alright, I lost you guys for a sec. So it has a converter with an 8-speed. So we're doing tuning for that because it has a big cam. There's a Z06 behind it. The motor's out of that one. This is a Camaro Lsx Block, actually. It's one of the B15s with a Pro Charger on it. It's a P1SC, so it's a little guy. But, pretty decent setup. We do a lot of these, a ton of 5th gen LS cars. I'm a Coyote person, so this is an S550 with a VMP Magnuson Gen 3R on this. This is a 2650. It is on 93 octane, I believe, so regular pump gas. This car makes like almost, it's like 7 something to the wheels, so we get a fuel system. And I mean, it has fuel upgrades, but yeah. Street car, 6-shift. This is an old SRT Jeep with a 6.1 Hemi in it with a Paxton or Vortec. Customer brought it to me for tuning. It's in the works. You can see some stuff's torn apart. Having some issues with it, but we'll get it sorted out. We do a lot of tuning, a lot of different stuff. This S10 with a LS, I believe it's a 5.3. This is a grudge car and a no prep car, and this guy will no prep on sketchy stuff, and this car hauls. It pulls the wheels. I've seen it myself. So a little bit of nitrous, little 5.3, and this runs Big Stuff 3 for EFI for all the controlling and stuff. So pretty cool ride. And we're working on, we're gonna add some more giggle gas to that too. But let me walk into the shop over here, as long as I don't lose you guys again on Wi-Fi. So this is our other side of the shop. So this is all Vector stuff over here. I got guys over here that work. It's dedicated to this. Walk in, they set up the cars for me to show you guys easily, so I wasn't fumbling around. But this is one of the big things we do here. It's a S197, I believe it's a 13 Coyote. And this guy actually has an Odin kit retrofitted for the 2014. This is a 2650 Magnuson VMP kit. And this is a stock Coyote. And this is making over 650 wheel on stock rods. Stock motor, everything. Stock cams. We just put headers on it, so it'll probably be just south of 700. We have to be careful and make sure it's tuned right, because the rods on these are on their edge. So this will be fun to do. And this is a 6R80 car. We do the tuning on the automatics as well to pep up the transmission, make it shift firmer, better, more responsive. Then this is a brand new 2021 Scat Pack Charger 6.4 Hemi. And I don't even think he's got the braking miles on this yet. And this has a Pro Charger P1s. See, we just put it on. We didn't even remove the thing yet. It's brand new. Gonna have this on the dyno shortly to tune with an 8-speed automatic. But we get a ton of these where we bolt kits on. We do custom tuning. This is kind of our bread and butter stuff. We do custom and racing and stuff like that. We get a ton of street cars, daily drivers, all kinds of stuff. All right. I'll show you guys the superchargers in a minute. So this is one of our, I call him family members. He's like a brother. He's Dan's brother. Cobra. It's a 98 Cobra car with a turbo 400. A lot of stuff in here. But it's a race car, street car. He drives on the street. You can go get ice cream in it right now, honestly. We pop the hood off to show you. It's a 4.6 mod motor, Cobra motor, Texide block. However you say it. I know there's different ways to say it, but it's a little mod motor. And it's pretty little, but it has a big turbo on it. I don't remember the size. I wrote it down, so give me a second, I can look for it here. So it is an 8685 single turbo. He had a smaller turbo on it last year, but no one says small here. We go big. And this is a very quick car. We do no AT events, we do regular events. I think he's gonna no prep this, and this is also, like I said, on the street. We go to Woodward with this like every weekend. It's got a turbo 400 and 8.8 rear end. This has Big Stuff 4, so the new Gen 4 Big Stuff, which is super cool if anyone's worked with that yet. The new EFI system from John at Big Stuff. A badass system, lots of data, super fast, lots of capabilities. Custom billet intake in this. And then Shane did all the fabbing on these pipes, as you can see too. So these pipes, all done with Shane, in-house fabbing. Let's see. Yeah, it's quick. 7 something, I won't tell you the exact times because, like I said, he grudge races it, but line up next to it. This is Dan's Coyote, my business partner. So this is one of our shop Coyotes that we push. I showed you some of the failures we've had with it. We found, you know, obviously turbos and chains and stuff, but this is twin turbos. These are twin 6466s. Okay. They're precisions, they're ceramic ball bearings. And then this also has Big Stuff Gen 4 on it as well. You can see the billet intake. We had a Boss 302 intake on it for a while, but with the boost we plan on making, we really needed a more stout intake. So this car is fast, this car is fun to drive. It keeps pulling and does not stop. You can see some big stuff. You can do boost control. This is one of the first cars that actually did development with rolling traction control for roll racing. So that works really well. It's really kind of cool to play with. This is kind of a twin to my car, a little bit different year. No stickers on it, obviously. It's a 12, and it's a sleeper. It's quiet. Like, you really wouldn't, you roll it next to this, you wouldn't expect it. It sounds good, but it does not sound like it makes over 4 digits to the wheels and runs 7s in the quarter at over 180. We even kept the stock up here and dash in there, all that. So this is a street car too. It has a cone turbo 400 with a cone converter. It has a 9-inch rear end. And we also have custom ground Vector Motorsport turbo cams in this. So like I said, we're big on our camshafts and how we select them in these Coyotes especially. So between my blower cars and his turbo Coyotes, we've got these figured out pretty well. So over here I had the guys also pick out a few blowers. So we were talking about fails earlier. This is actually out of Trackhawk, this blower. Customer brought, another shop built it. I'm not going to go into that. But you got to be careful how much you spin these. Blower speed, you got to calculate it. You can't just give it moon boost and expect it to live. When you do that, bad things happen. I don't know if you can see all in there, but basically the rotors came apart. So he now has a Magnuson 2650 blower on his Trackhawk, which those are super awesome. They sound cool and they move. But yeah, so we do that. We do swaps on blowers. This Corvette Lt4 blower. Nothing wrong with this blower. This blower is fine. I just wanted you guys to see it. It is ported. I don't know if you can see in there. So Joker's Performance does all the porting. He ports my TVS blowers for my race car, my race Coyote, and then a lot of our customer stuff. So he's ported our Hellcat Trackhawk blowers, he ports our LT blowers, our LSA blowers. This is one that he ported for an Lt4 Vet, and we see a lot of gains out of it too. So good blower to run. Walking over here, sorry I'm skipping stuff, that's parts room. Here's another crate motor for one of those trucks out there. You walk into the dyno room. So this is pretty much where I live, is this chassis dyno. Okay. We enclose the whole room. Big ceiling. Let me close this door. Phone keeps ringing all day. So I do all the tuning here. On the chassis dyno, customer cars, we do race cars with appointments, all kinds of stuff. For today, I actually put one of our shop CTSVs on the dyno so we can do a live pull here in a little bit on this. This is a stock LSA, 100% stock. We did put a custom grind cam. You can see the ZL1 lid upgrade. We had a bigger intake. headers. The main thing is the camshaft on this. It is a full flex fuel vehicle. So I do flex fuel tuning on the GM stuff because we can use a flex fuel sensor. And basically, I tune for 93 and any mix between that to E85. So when this is seen pure ethanol, we can obviously give it more timing and we need to give it more fuel as a result. But we can do full flex. So in the winter, Michigan, all that fun stuff. If it goes down, the car will flex for that down, all that fun stuff too. So I can talk about tuning, but I'll do a pull on this. It makes pretty good power. It's got big fat tires on it. We did testing on this on the rollers before, and I actually saw some pretty neat stuff. I don't know if anyone else has seen these results, but when you put street tires on, and then like a radio, like a regular radio, like a NT05R, you lose around 30 horsepower with that 05R compared to a street tire. And then when you put these on, like these ET Street R radios, like I call them a race radio, it's a street radio, but it's a race radio, you lose 50 to 80 wheel horsepower. So remember that when we're pulling this, so this is going to lose 50 to 80 compared to like a stock tire. And I tell customers that too because we have this is actually a Mustang Dyno MD1100, I believe. I think it's 2,000 horsepower, 215-ish miles an hour. And it's kind of a heartbreaker dyno. It shows very, very low numbers. I tell my customers don't get caught up on that, 'cause especially if they had a dyno jet in another shop and they come here and my dyno shows like 50 to 80 less than theirs. They're like, oh, well, something happened. No, it's just our dyno. A dyno's a tool. You'll see the results at the track. So we're pretty big on that. I set out a bunch of blowers to kind of show you guys our blowers. So like I said before, I'm more of a blower person, not so much turbo, but we have a lot of turbo people here and a lot of turbo customers. But I personally love blowers. I love the TVS style blowers, the Eatons, which VMP and Magnuson make. So I push the VMP and the Magnusons for any of the Chevys or the GMs or the Fords, if they want a torque, instant torque style. And then the centrifugal is Pro Charger all the way. Based on what kind of car you have and what you want, when you want the power, we can pick a Pro Charger based off that too. So starting over here, this is a little, it's a 2.3 liter Gen 2R. This is actually the exact blower I ran on my car early this winter / spring that we qualified #1 with and set the record at 818 at 167 miles an hour. It is ported by Jokers. I'll let you peek, but you can't see for long. But really, this is a little blower for a 30, that car has to be 3,900 pounds when it runs this blower per their rules. We also are required to run a bigger pulley on it. So with boost restrictions and weight, we believe that we could easily get this into the 7s in good air. So we might try at Mod Nationals in the next coming weeks to get this little blower in the 7s, possibly. And this is a Gen 3 2650 blower. This is one of my blowers as well. This one's actually broke. The rotors one night, I don't know if I sucked something in or what, but they touched and the rotors are taken out. I'm not going to show you guys, but basically the case is all wrecked inside. So I use this blower. Usually it's in the front lobby to show people. But this is one of the first 2650s. And then this is the Gen 3R. So Magnuson got involved with VMP and they made this 2650 and the housing's a little designed differently. This makes good power. This is what you saw on the S550 out there. This is one of my blowers. I ran this in Maryland last year. I love these 2650s, but I like to show people what you can do with a little blower. So I think a lot of people can bolt these bigger blowers on and run fast, and that's really cool and great, but like when you can bolt a small blower on and run faster, it really shows like what we're capable of. So, and then like I said before, midway through the season, the NMRA changed rules on us and gave us a huge penalty on these blowers. And we were obviously upset about it, but we didn't agree with the pulley. And instead of throwing a fit and quitting and walking away, or just running no boost and being slow, we wanted to prove a point, and we switched to Pro Charger because we believe Pro Charger had the winning ticket. Not only did we switch to Pro Charger, most of the guys are running the D1SC, which is this blower right here. So this is more instant torque, low end power. It makes power upstairs, but it kind of runs out. This is the P1X. This is actually technically smaller. So this is a P1SC. So normally it goes like P1SC and then the D1SC, and then there's a P1X and a D1X. We're not allowed to run the D1X in the class. We have to run this P1SC. There's actually a weight penalty with this blower. Nobody ran this blower in the class because nobody thought it could do what we needed to do. So we took a big risk and showed up in Michigan with zero testing on a brand new motor after that motor wreck that I talked about. And we drove it off the trailer. I mean, I had a top mount tuning it. Like, the car was made for a top mount. We didn't change the converter or anything about the race car. We just showed up, put a Pro Charger on it, which we all fabbed in-house. Shane made the pipes for it. And I also redesigned the car so that I could switch between a Pro Charger and a top mount in less than an hour at the track if I need to. Because with this kind of racing, you never know when they're going to change the rules. But we showed up with this, drove it off the trailer, qualified number 1, and actually won the whole event. Had the DA not been 4,000 for the air, like 4,000, I mean, it was humid, hot, and nasty. We would have probably set the record there, but we set the record in Bowling Green with this blower anyway. A couple months later, a little bit cool air, but even still, it was like 2,000 DA, I believe. We were going 812 at 168 almost in this thing. So this little P1X, and we did change the converter for Bowling Green too. So, but we believe this little P1X too can go in the 7s. So at Mountain Nationals, we might try to run a Pro Charger in the 7s with full straight weight. I don't know if we're going to do the P1X. We're getting a D1X sent here. Should be here any day. But we might try. We're not sure. We're kind of just playing it by ear for Mountain Nationals. But we like to do the small blower stuff. And like I said, push that. And anyone can throw like a F1A94 on the car and run. But we're going to see. We're going to see what's going to happen. Maybe we'll run all the blowers at Mountain Nationals. We'll try to get everyone in the 7s. I don't know. That'd be a lot of work. We'll see if we have that much time. And Dan might kill me. But so yeah, those are all the blowers. People ask me all the time, a big question is, what do you like better? I don't like, better. Like, I have a Camaro with a 427 motor at home. I didn't bring it, I should have brought it. It's a 5th gen, 2010, with a cone 4L80 in it. And, here, that's better. 4L80 with Holley EFI, full street car. And it's got an P1x Pro Charger on it. So I have a Pro Charge car. I love that. I also love top mounts. I don't have a favorite. Top mounts are instant torque. Pro Chargers keep pulling upstairs. It just depends on what you want. So I tell customers, what do you want? What do you want to do with the car? What are your goals with the car? Because that's going to determine what we're going to pick and what we're going to do. And then they get to decide ultimately. But so yeah, that's the blowers. Blowers are a lot easier to do on customer cars too. Turbos are a little complicated. So unless it's a race setup or a customer really willing to go through the hassle of turbos, we kind of stick with that. And then, so when we talk about tuning, right? So we use Brist spark plugs. We use NGKs too, but we use Brist mostly. So here's that plug, brand new. And when we tune here, we do something a little different. We tune really based off what the chamber says, because the data can say anything, and data's, pretty good, but at the end of the day, the chamber is the ultimate decision maker. So here's a good example of a timing line on a Brist plug after a pull. If this was my car, I'd get a little bit more, but a customer car is probably pretty good. Sorry if it keeps focusing and stuff. Here's another one, a little bit more on the timing. And then here's a few more examples on different customer pulls and stuff like that. Obviously, you want to stay a little safer. You want to stay right before the bend. So we'll do a pull on a car. We'll pull the plug, we'll look, and we'll make decisions based off that. When I tune my car at the track, I pull plugs every pass, and I make decisions based on every pass. Maryland last year, I had a different fuel system than I have now. And I was running out of fuel pump because I was pushing it, and I knew I was running out of fuel pump, but I ran the car anyway. So the cool thing about these Brist plugs is before you're about to lift a head gasket, they melt and stop firing. You can see where this one started to melt. And this one really started to melt. So needless to say, I lifted both head gaskets this past because I was completely out of fuel, and I sent it, and I knew it was going to happen, and it was the end of the year, so I was going to go through the motor anyway, but, so that's what that looks like. So let's move on to getting a run out of this car. And Dan just walked in, and I'm going to say hi. I'm going to pull this car in the dyno for you guys live. I'm going to hand him the phone. So give me a second to warm it up, and I'll start running it through the gears and watch the pull. Ready? Got it? Turn all the fans off, guys. Hold on. So, I only pulled a 6500 on that pull. But you can see, maybe, 695 and for the horsepower to the wheels, and 704 foot-pounds. So, hold on a sec. You can see it was just starting to peak. I know it peaks a little bit more. Normally I pull it to 7, but I didn't want to pull it that high today. But this is pretty much how we do tuning. Obviously this car is dialed in, so I wasn't scared to just start pulling on it. But normally I build up to it. I'll start 3,000, go to 5, go to 6, and so on based on the car and what it has. You can see this really stout torque curve. This car runs 10s, low 10s in the quarter mile all the time. It has run 9s here and there in really good air. Again, this is a full street car, 100% street car. Drive it, AC, heated seats. For tuning, we typically use HP tuners. So I was recording the data right there. I'll go over that, timing, air, fuel, all that. And then I also, once we're done on the dyno, I'll take it off the dyno. I'll log it on the street. We'll do street tuning, drivability. I'm really big on drivability, how the trans feels, how the car is responsive, and stuff like that. So, like I said, tuning wise, I live in this dyno room. I do it by the plugs in the chamber. I look at the data too, and a lot of it's by feel. If the car's not right on the dyno, you can feel it lift. Don't stay in it. It's not worth it. Very particular in how I tune. We also, like I said, use Holley EFI and big stuff. We can use other things like Hall Tech, Fuel Tech, stuff like that. But most of our customers, it's with HP tuners streetcar wise. And then our racing customers is usually Holley or big stuff. But that's our dyno room. And we also have an engine dyno. We really don't use our engine dyno anymore because all of our customers, it's all in the car. So we really don't use that. I'm not going to show you that room. But we do have one. I'm going to walk back to my office now. So if you guys have any questions you want to write while I'm walking back there, if you want me to stop real quick on any of this stuff, let me know. But I'm going to head back to my office and answer some questions. Because I know I've been on here for like 50-something minutes. I didn't know if I'd have enough to show you guys or not, but... So let's start heading back there. Hopefully I don't lose connection. If I do, I'll log back on. It's kind of cold and windy here in Michigan right now. So we're going back up to the front. I don't know if I lost you guys or not. You guys there? Alright, hold on guys. Sorry, I walked up front into my office, so I'm trying to get connection back here. Can you guys hear me at least? Hold on.